This is the Unit 12 for the diet plans. And so, first thing I've got here is my athlete and the profile of my athlete. So, I had a wrestler that was a male, was 159 centimeters, weighed 57 kilograms, and I put him at 27 years of age. And to create the 14-day food program for my athlete, the first thing I had to do was work out his BMR, and I've got the calculations at the bottom here. So it worked out that his BMR was at 1,433.75 calories. And then also I had to find out the METs for his different training that he had, and I had the 4 training methods here. So I had weight training, resistance training, and circuit training, and the running at 6.7 miles per hour. And they all had different METs, so I could work out the different amount of calories that are burned or needed for different training sessions. So I took these 4 different types of training and I put them at different points in his food program. So he would train 2 hours every day for the weight training, 3 hours every other day for the circuit training, 3 hours every other day for the cardiovascular training, and 1 hour every day. 3 hours every other day for resistance training and 1 hour a day for cardiovascular training. The circuit training and resistance training were alternate days, so circuit training would be one day and then resistance training would be the next day. And then I took it all here at the bottom and I times it by the amount of hours that they'd do in the day, and then I got the total scores at the bottom here, added that in, added it together with the BMR to get the total amount of calories needed per day. And as you can see here in this is day 3 of my food diary, and I have the weight training, the amount of calories needed, the circuit training, the amount of calories needed, the running, so I have that all in there, and the BMR, added that all together and came out with 3,917.525 calories needed for this one day, and then created the food based on that. And I've got a lot of things here, like, fish and steak, just simply because they have a lot of protein. He's a wrestler, so he's going to be doing a lot of muscle training. As I've got here, we've got quite a bit of weight training and circuit training, which is very high in intensity, so the METs are obviously going to be a lot higher. So for these days that he was doing circuit training, he had to have more calories, simply because he burned more, so he needed more. Also, this helps with weight maintenance as well, because he needed to maintain his weight at 57 kilograms just so he could fit into the lower class weight category. So he's at a good weight for his height and his age. So he can stay at that and just help rebuild his muscles after all the trainings. And with the protein shakes as well after every training session, that would help to do that. The only thing that I would have done slightly differently is maybe changed a few of the snacks, because I feel like maybe they're a little bit of the same sort of thing in this, and maybe spread them out a little better than I have done at the moment. And then I move on to day 8, I believe, of this, and then I've got here very similar thing. So again, porridge, giving him porridge every single day for breakfast, just simply because it's consistency. Consistency is good to fight off illness, and especially as he's getting closer to his competition, this is exactly what he needs. And this shows the alternate day when he does the resistance training instead of the circuit training. So it shows the different amount of calories needed. And I tried to get it as close as possible. He had a few days extra, a few days where he had extra calories and a few days where he had a few less calories, so it all added up and balanced out pretty well. And again, here I've got a lot of food with a lot of protein, so chicken and lean minced there for the beef burgers. The thing I would have done differently on this day is maybe given him different things rather than 2 sort of poultry or meat based things. I would have given him maybe something different, and then he's got 2 sets of potato there as well. So I think I would have changed that a little bit and just had a bit more variety on a few of the days, just changing up the vegetables and so forth. And then I move on to the last day here, which is his day 14 for his the competition day. And with this day, I've only given him porridge as his main meal, simply because it's competition day. Um, and the reason for this is just so that because it's wrestling, you don't want to be super heavy. You want to be fairly light on your feet, and you don't want to give him too much that might slow him down. Um, and porridges are, and raisins as well with it, and the banana. It's, as you can see, it's really high in carbs. Um, and these are going to be slow releasing carbs. They're going to be complex carbohydrates, so that will give him a lot of energy throughout the day, just to last him through it here. And if we look back at day number 8, it shows the amount of water that I've given him here for the different training. Um, I, I would maybe give him more water in the day. I feel like he's got enough there just to for the average person, but based on the amount of times he trained, um, and I did the water by one bottle instead of a glass, so that's about 250 milliliters of water each time. Um, and I would have maybe given him slightly more water on the certain days, especially with his circuit training days when he's doing a lot more exercise. I would have given him more water on those days simply because he's going to need it, and the hydration is going to stop his muscles cramping up. And it's going to keep him hydrated so that he doesn't alter his performance in any way, in a negative way. More water is obviously going to help. It's going to keep his system clear. It's going to fight from illness, and the minerals in the water are also going to help with this. It's the same as I've given him here. I've given him raspberries and blueberries, simply because they're just really full of antioxidants and they help to fight all the illness that he may get from this. I think some of these I would have changed and given him maybe a little bit more fruit and different types of fruit, because I feel like it's just a lot of the same stuff: bananas, raspberries, blueberries, and raisins. Maybe apples, melon, grapes, just different sorts of things, blackberries, just to have more variety and more colour in the diet, just because it gives different minerals and vitamins that are essential to his diet. Um, and then maybe given the water at different times, depending on the time he's training, and the protein shakes, giving them consistently after, just simply because that's a good time. It's when your muscles are most susceptible to being rebuilt. But overall, I think this diet plan fit his needs pretty well. And my strategy of just maintaining his weight throughout and then only giving one meal to last him so he stays at a good weight and keeps light on his feet and doesn't slow him down too much. I think the strategy could be improved a little bit by maybe carb loading, or giving him a lot of protein and then sort of cutting it down as he gets closer, or starting off really really sort of light and then building up more and more protein as he gets closer to the competition day. So maybe we would have changed that a little bit, but I think this food program fit his needs, and the requirements and his weight maintenance, and kept him at a steady level for his 14-day competition.